Right, guys, good evening and welcome to my first live video on United Chat TV. Tonight I'm going to discuss the potential incomings and outgoings at Manchester United ahead of what's meant to be a really big summer for the club, with a new manager coming in. They're on about the change of the structure with a new deputy head of director of football coming in. So many things to talk about tonight. But first of all, before I get started on this, I just want to comment on the video that I seen before of Marcus Rashford being abused by fans and then him giving the middle finger back to them. The way I think about it is, I understand his form hasn't been that good over the past couple of months and he's been frustrated with himself and he shouldn't have to justify what he did, but could have been a little bit more professional than that. He didn't need to come out and apologise on Twitter. Paul Pogba didn't after he got heckled by fans. A lot of other players haven't after they've been booed, abused and everything else. I just don't know what to say. I just think he's got to start acting more professional, come off social media, just ignore what everyone's saying about him and focusing on his football. But anyways, that's enough of that. Right, let's move on to the main order of the night, which is discussing potential incomings and outgoings at Manchester United. First of all, I want to start with the outgoings that looks up to be about 11 or 12 players leaving. These are Jesse Lingard, Edison Cavani, Nemanja Matic, Juan Mata, Donny van den Beek, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Dean Henderson, Eric Bailly and Phil Jones. These are all players that are leaving, either free contracts or players that are wanting to leave. Martial wants to leave. Donny van den Beek wants to leave. So Dean Henderson also wants to leave. Eric Bailly wants to leave and Phil Jones wants to leave. They're all players that are still under contract. So they can fight all they want to leave in the summer. But it's up to the club depending on what the club want to do. Paul Pogba, Mata, Lingard, Cavani and Matic are all out of contract. So if the club don't negotiate contracts with them, again, it looks like they're ready to leave. Paul Pogba's had his offer on the table since last year, £400,000 a week, one of the highest paid players at the club. Still stalling on it, wants to move back to Juventus, which are the rumours. If that's true, then I'm happy to let him go. He hasn't showed much why he's worth £80 million and why the club brought him back in the first place. With that money could have been a lot better spent. Matic was a good player for Chelsea, was a good player for United early on. Past couple of years, as he's got older, legs have gone, but still a good impact player off the bench. Juan Mata, when he signed for United from Chelsea back then under David Moyes in 2012, I thought, yes, this is brilliant. Bring him on. Like, it's going to be brilliant. And I was chuffed because at Chelsea, he was brilliant. And he come to United and he was a good player at United. But as his age gone on, and his effectiveness in games slowly dwindled down, and which is a shame, really. But he should have let him leave last season when we had the chance. He should have left, but it looks like this summer that's going to be it, and he's going to walk away from the club. Whether he goes to the MLS or he gets a gig at another, I don't know, Spanish team, maybe Valencia might take him back. Who knows? Jesse Lingard. Now, this is the one that I'm most annoyed about. Jesse Lingard, last summer, Manchester United could have got £20 million from West Ham for him. He'd just come off an absolute fantastic half a season on loan with West Ham, and West Ham wanted him. United could have sold him. Lingard at the time, I think, wanted to go, and they just priced him out of a move. They wanted 30 million. He wasn't worth it. £20 million. Could have got it, could have let him go, but they didn't. And now he's going to walk away in the summer for nothing, and just highlights once again the failings of this board, once again the failings of the negotiation team. What does that say for Matt Judge, John Murtagh, Darren Fletcher, and everyone else who's involved in that? What does it say? Edison Cavani. Cavani come in on a free transfer, done well last season. This season, it looked like he hasn't even been interested for the past couple of months. He's hardly played. His effectiveness in the team has gone. It's dropped down. And I'm ashamed, really, because when he come to United last season, like, El Matador is what the song goes. Like, I don't get it. I don't know what. Maybe it's the fact Ronaldo came back. He lost his number 7 shirt. His legs are giving up. His injury record's picking up with him. I just don't know. But that's another player looks like he's going to walk away. Anthony Martial. Well, where to start with Anthony Martial? On his day, one of the most talented players in the team. But on his day, when he can't be bothered. And in his first season at United, scored that absolute wonder goal against Liverpool where he made Martin Skrtel look like a hot dog. Finished the season as United's top goal scorer as United went on to win the FA Cup in Louis van Gaal's final season in charge. And we thought, right, Martial, come in as a talented youngster, he's going to make the step up and he's just going to keep developing and developing and developing. But that didn't happen. And over the past year or so, he's gotten lazy. He walks around the pitch like he can't be bothered. His attitude's just not there. And he's went out on loan to Sevilla. Yeah, I don't know how well he's doing at Sevilla. I know he scored a goal, but that's about it. If United get 20 million for him, let him go. Let him go and be happy. Let him go and be someone else's problem, because this United team, they need players that want to play for the club. So, yeah, Phil Jones, Eric Bailly, Donny van den Beek, once again, players that want to leave, let them leave. Phil Jones deserves a crack at a low league Premier League team or even the Championship team. Let him go and play regular. Eric Bailly, when he stays fit, absolutely fantastic defender, but he's got a worse injury record than Daniel Sturridge, which says a lot, really. And Donny van den Beek, 2018 at Ajax, was voted in the Ballon d'Or. One of the best young players in Europe back then. He's come to United. We all knew he was a first choice. We all knew that the only reason United signed him is because Aston Villa stayed up and Jack Grealish then became unattainable. Like, there's no hiding it. Everyone knows that's the reason. And if you don't believe it, then I'm sorry, you're a fool. Because it was reported back then that Jack Grealish was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's number one target. Jack Grealish wanted to come to Old Trafford. Ole wanted Jack Grealish. There was a £40 million deal in place in case Aston Villa went down. Villa stayed up on the final day of the season. And then the price tag skyrocketed from 40 million all the way up to the 100 million. And United, yeah, that was it. So the next option was Donny van den Beek. And he hasn't really fitted into this United team, but he hasn't really been given the chance to show what he can do at this club, which I'm very critical of the managers. They haven't given him the chance to perform at this club. He's doing well at Everton, but he should have been in that starting midfield from the get-go. And I think if Ollie had trusted him a bit more, he'd have been a lot further on in his career than where he's at now. He should have been given the chance. But that's enough about outgoings. And now let's go on to potential incomings. Right, the list of... I'm going to start with midfielders that United have been linked with over the past couple of months as we lead into the summer. These are Declan Rice, Amadou Haidara, Calvin Phillips, and Boubacar Kamara. All CDMs except Amadou Haidara, who's a box-to-box midfielder, all have different strengths and weaknesses. Declan Rice, one of his main pulls is Premier League proven. He's done it game in, game out for West Ham. 5 goals, 4 assists, 91% pass accuracy this season. Looks brilliant for a CDM, but is he going to be one of them that can be quick across the ground, that can cover mistakes from Harry Maguire if he's still here next season? And is he going to be worth £100 million if that's what United are going to shell out for him? Because that's how much West Ham will want for him. He's got 2 years left on his contract. I'm sure it's 2024 when his contract expires. There's just so much uncertainty around it at the moment. United want Declan Rice. Declan Rice has spoke to members of the United team in England national team. What's it like to play for United? Ask questions. And now with Chelsea's financial troubles, will that mean United will get a clear run at Declan Rice, or are Manchester City going to get involved? It's one to keep an eye out for the summer, and I'd love Declan Rice, but I wouldn't want United to sacrifice half their transfer budget on there when there are other options out there for cheaper. And the next one I'm going to go on to is Amadou Haidara. 24-year-old midfielder from Leipzig, box to box. Ralph Rangnick knows him well. And 4 goals, 2 assists. Strong, courageous, can break up play, knows how to get in the box. His one weakness is his finishing. It's his letting down from the goals he scored this season. He could have had a little bit more. Does he fit United's style of play? The fact he's only got a £32 million release clause in his contract, that says a lot. But will he suit the English Premier League? Is he going to be one of them that will come in and set the ball alight? Is he going to be Paul Pogba's replacement? Or what's going to happen? Amadou Haidara is, if United aren't going to go for Declan Rice, he's one I'd look at. I think he'd make a good addition to the team, but I'm not sure he'd be one of them that could sit in front of the back 4 and do your typical CDM role, which is cover for your back 4, play the ball in between the lines and get the team moving forward. The next player I'm going to move on to is Leeds United. Fans will thank me for this, or they'll either hate me, because this is another guy who's been linked to the Red Devils, and this is Calvin Phillips. Yeah, he spent most of his season out injured, but in the games he's played, I think he's been impressive. He was impressive in the Euros last year, and he's one of them. He's 20. Yeah, he's older than Declan Rice and Amadou Haidara. He's 26. I'd say Premier League proven. He's an English national. 1 goal, 2 assists this season. Will Leeds United do business with Manchester United after the whole Eric Cantona business back then? Will they? Or the Rio Ferdinand? Will Leeds United do it? Who knows? But if United are going for a cheaper Premier League option to Declan Rice, who is your premium, then you've got to go for Calvin Phillips. I think Premier League proven. If Leeds go down, it'll be about 30-40 million. If Leeds stay in the Premier League, it's going to cost about 50-60 million. But it all depends if United are willing to negotiate with Leeds United. Are they willing to go to the negotiation table? Is Calvin Phillips willing to move from Yorkshire to Manchester? Or will any of these players be wanting to come to Old Trafford? And the final player I'm going to move on to is, this one is the cheapest option of them all. He's had a good season with Marseille, refusing to sign a new contract. He's been linked with Villa, Roma, Leeds. The list goes on. He's had all sorts of offers, but he wants to see what he can get at the end of the season. And this one is Boubacar Kamara from Marseille. Young CDM, available for nothing at the end of the season. If United are going to go for a cheap option, and depending on where they go, Boubacar Kamara is one of them players who they can sign for free. Will come on a decent wage. be able to slot in front of that back four. Am I worried that he'll get found out in the Premier League, or is he not physically enough for the Premier League? I don't know, because I don't watch much French football, because I'm not going to lie, it's like what I said, it's like watching paint dry half the time. You watch PSG, you listen to bloody Kylian Mbappe, who next season won't even be at PSG, be at Real Madrid. It's the Uber Eats League. It's something you can order on a Friday night. Like, no one cares. No one cares. So, but I'm not going to say too much about Boubacar Kamara, because I don't know much about him. I haven't done much research about him. So, but if he is a cheaper option, then why not? And so that's the midfielders done. And next I'm going to move on to the attackers. So if United want to go premium for these attackers, these are players they have been linked with. So please don't slate me, no hate. These are players over the past 6 months United have been linked to in the media. The first one is, yes, I know I'm going to get hated for this. He won't join United, this side of it, but it's Robert Lewandowski. Robert Lewandowski doesn't really have to, I don't really have to tell you much about him. If you're a football fan, you know what he's done with Bayern since he's moved to the club. Should have won the Ballon d'Or this season. He scored 54 goals, 47 appearances, 8 assists. And yeah, he's 33-year-old, but he wants a new contract and he's threatening to leave. If he doesn't get a new contract, he's going to walk away from Bayern. Will Bayern sell without a fight? No. He scored over 300 goals since he moved to Bayern Munich. His record is absolutely ridiculous. But he's 33-year-old, and I want United to move away from this model of experienced strikers. Like, we've got Ronaldo, we've got Cavani, experience, fair enough then. Robert Lewandowski, if he's available and the deal is decent, go for it. But I want to see United go for someone younger and someone that can mould into a top-class striker. Someone like a Haaland, but that won't happen because he's got his heart set on Real Madrid, and plus his agent's Mino Fatriola, which I hate him. He wants a release clause included in all of his contracts, and Riola wants release clause included in all of his clients' contracts, just so he can make a little extra dollar. Look at Matthias de Ligt at Juventus. But that's what I want United to do. In a Haaland and Vlahovic type, find a young and unproven striker in a smaller league and then develop him into a world-class striker. That doesn't mean going out. You probably find someone in the Austrian league, but I think that's just tough luck with what they've scouts in Europe have managed to find. I think United will just end up feed off scraps, which is unfortunate when it comes to the young players, because United have a brilliant youth academy, or even find someone out the academy, because there's a lot of good young players in the academy, Charlie McNeil. But that's my take on Robert Lewandowski. I'd take him at United if he was available on a decent deal, not overpaying on someone who's 33 and you probably only get another good 2-3 years out of him. Right, next one is, here we go again, because the rumours, Pochettino's got the job, Pochettino's been lined up, he's been given the job, he's talking to the board about the transfer targets, and one name pops up again, Harry Kane and Manchester United. Are the tabloids doing it to sell stories, including United, including Harry Kane? Who knows? But Harry Kane's 28 years old, 35 goals this season. Last season, Spurs rejected a £100 million bid from Manchester City. Will they sell to United? Probably not. Does Harry Kane want to leave Spurs? Yes, he does, but that's to challenge for trophies. So I'd expect if Harry Kane is going to leave Spurs, he'd be joining Manchester City. Because at the moment, United aren't challenging for trophies, and unless United get Champions League, the Harry Kane deal's a no starter, and I think it's a no starter anyways because Spurs, the way Daniel Levy is and the tough crook he is, he won't entertain anything less than 150 million. And I don't think United are that stupid to spend 150 million pound on a striker. But we did spend 80 million pound on a fridge, so anything's impossible. And next player we're going to move on to is, I wouldn't say he's much of a striker. He can play anywhere in the midfield, but he's also played up front for RB Leipzig this year. And this is RB Leipzig's French international, Christopher Nkunku. Christopher Nkunku this season has scored the same amount of goals as Kylian Mbappe. Bear in mind, he's not a natural forward. He scored 26 goals and he set up 10 this season in 38 appearances. Brilliant. 24-year-old. I think he's 20. Yeah, 24-year-old. And be available for a lot less than Robert Lewandowski and Harry Kane. Someone that United can mould into a striker. And someone United can develop because he's got years ahead of him. Do I think United will get him? No, I don't. He's one name that's been linked, but that's because he knows Ralph Rangnick and Ralph Rangnick knows him well. Is he the type of player that Pochettino wants? No, because I think Pochettino wants more of like a proven finisher, a proven goal scorer that's done it at the highest level, whereas Nkunku's only done it for RB Leipzig. But he's done it in the Champions League. So I don't know, but that's one to keep an eye out in the summer. I'd love it if United signed Christopher Nkunku. I've watched a bit of the German football this season, and I think he's been one of Leipzig's standout players. Scored a couple of brilliant goals against Manchester City at the Etihad in the Champions League game early on this season. So it's one to keep an eye out, and I'm excited for the summer if his name gets mentioned again. Right, the next one I'm going to move on to, and the final one is the guy that scored the winner last night to knock Ajax out the Champions League. This guy is Darwin Núñez, 22-year-old, can play anywhere along the forward line, £60 million rated. A lot of big teams in Europe are tracking him. Almost moved to Barcelona before he moved to Almeria and then on to Benfica. This guy is not just a flat track bully who's done it in Portugal. This is a guy who scored against Barcelona. He scored against Ajax to knock them out, and he scored a couple of other times in the group stages. He scored 20 goals this season. That's just in the league. I think it's 4 in the Champions League. So if United are looking for someone to build a forward line around, this guy would be, I'd say, your main guy. He's 22. You could probably get 10 to 12 years out of him, and he can be the one to take United into the next generation, which is what United need. Rather than all this experience stuff, United need a lot of young players that want to play for the club, that are passionate about the club they play for, and players that aren't afraid to get stuck in, because the team, it's a weak mentality at the moment. And I think for the money, Darwin Núñez would be worth it. I think he'd slot into United's lineup seamlessly. I think he'd score the goals. And I think it'd be money well spent, something that United struggle. These sorts of targets, like Núñez, Isa, Christopher Nkunku, are money well spent players, not money wasted. That's why when I did my research and I did a little bit of digging, yeah, there was a lot of high profile names mentioned, but I looked for the ones that I thought aren't going to be too expensive, but United could build a team around. So that's why when I looked at midfielders, I looked at Calvin Phillips and I looked at Haidara. 2 guys that aren't going to break the bank, but that'll guarantee you 100% every game. and will be willing to put the body on the line for the team. And then when it comes to the forwards, Darwin Núñez, Isaac, young players that enjoy playing football. And so now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to pick out my 3 main transfer targets who I want United to sign in the summer. And if they get them, I'll be chuffed. If they don't, then I'll back whoever comes into the club. So when it comes to midfield, of course, I'm going to say Declan Rice because he's one of the best English players we've got, best English midfielder that I think we've got. And I think he's one of them that could lead United into the next generation, which is what we need to be talking about. But if we don't sign him, then it's got to be Calvin Phillips. And the only reason I'm saying that with both Phillips and Rice, Premier League proven, and I know both of them will be money well spent. The next one, we're going to talk about strikers who are one thing. Núñez, as much as I've watched Benfica this season, I want Darwin Núñez in a United shirt next season. Like, all you Portuguese fans out there, everyone who watches Benfica, everyone who watches South American football and seen him at Penarol, where he used to play before he moved to Europe, all those Almeria fans who've seen him play for the club will vouch for me on this because he's a good player. And I think, once again, he'll be money well spent. The one thing I haven't added into this list is defenders, because I looked down the list and I really didn't have enough time to go into specific detail about some of them. There's a young lad from Barcelona called Ronald Araujo, fighting over a new contract with Barcelona. They won't offer him so much. Is he want to play next to Rafael Varane? No, I don't think. I think next to that, United need an experienced centre-back, a commanding centre-back, someone who no nonsense. Your Koulibaly, your Marquinhos. I think going forward, they're the sorts of players. But if you are wanting to push the boat out, but I know United won't because he's a Mino Raiola client, I'd take Matthias de Ligt at Juventus. Pardon me. I'd take de Ligt at Juventus, but there ain't many centre-backs out there that are worth the money unless you want your cheaper options like a Kanji at Dortmund. He's done well this season, but is he Manchester United quality? No. But Harry Maguire's not Manchester United quality and he gets to play every game. But United need an upgrade on Harry Maguire. And I do think if United are going to get 3 players in this summer, they need to be sensible. They can't overspend. So someone will have to give along the lines. What is it going to be? A free transfer centre-back, a cheap CDM such as Haidara or Phillips, or is it going to be a free transfer as Boubacar Kamara, or are United just going to go and sign Haidara, Núñez and Akanji, and there's less than £100 million spent on all 3? I don't know, but that's my thing for the summer. That's our main transfer targets, I think. That's the players that have been linked. And now that's the thing. I'm looking forward to the summer to see what happens with United, because Manchester United this summer, it's a massive summer. It comes to a point now where everything that's right that gets done in the summer needs to be right, because we've had decades of failure. 1.4 billion spent since 2011, and only Europa League and an FA Cup, and I think it's a League Cup and an FA Community Shield trophy to show for it. Our last major trophy was 2017, the Europa League. And We've sacked manager after manager after manager after manager. There's been no structure, no plan, no forward thinking involved in any of these decisions. So I think everything that in this summer needs to be done right, from the manager that United choose, whoever this deputy director of football is, it needs to be right. My main choices, as said, for that is Paul Mitchell. He's been there, done that before. You can even have Luis Campos, who's been there, done that, to work under John Murtaugh. And the manager and the players need to be right this summer. We can't have another summer or another season like we've had. Last summer, we signed Sancho, Ronaldo, Varane. Varane and Ronaldo have won countless amount of trophies between them. Sancho is one of the best young players in the world. When we signed them three, that should have been it. But we can't have another season like we had this one. This one has been a massive disappointment. And I'm sick of saying, I'm sick of being asked, who do I want to win the league between Manchester City and Liverpool? I'm sick of it. I want my club back. I want my football club back. The club I grew up supporting. Yeah, I got spoilt during the Fergie era, but this summer, something's got to give at this club, and all of it needs to be right. So I hope that John Murtaugh, Joel Glazer, Matt Judge, Richard Arnold, Ralph Rangnick, and anyone else who's involved in this summer is making sure every process gets done thoroughly so there's no mistakes. And I'm hoping so. And I'm hoping come kick-off in August, the first game of the season, United have had a good summer. They bought smartly, not overspent, which people are going to call me names because I asked for Declan Rice. But I said if United sign him, I'd love them to, but I don't think they will, because I think he'll be priced out of moving. If United are going to be smart, they are cheaper options. But United everything needs to be a thorough process, because whoever this new manager is, he needs time. He needs time to put his system in place and what he wants to achieve with this club. And all our targets depend on whether United are going to make Champions League football or not. If United don't make Champions League football, forget about the top quality players, because no football player, any top football player who's playing for a Champions League side ain't dropping down to play Europa League against the Wi-Fi password on a Thursday night, or against a team I can't even pronounce. So, as I said, something's got to give, and I'm hoping, I can hope, but listening to United, listening to Joe Glazer, listening to everything else, I know it's just going to be another year full of false lies, false promises, and PR spins to make it look like they care about the club when they don't. So, in the meantime, I'm going to end my video tonight because I've got other stuff to do, and it's been nice airing my views. I'll be back again tomorrow night for another live video. It'll be probably a little bit later, but tomorrow night we're going to talk in detail about Manchester United's 5-man shortlist for the manager. Who are these five candidates? Which one do I think's the right fit? We'll talk about all that tomorrow night. Right, guys, like and subscribe on my channel, please. I'm looking to hit, hopefully, 100 subscribers in the next couple of months, and then just keep building my channel up. And everyone's like, subscribe, even watching the video, it means a lot to me. So have a good night. Thank you.